Hello, it's me, Kyle of GivePaws Hobby. Welcome back to another episode of Green Screen Pro. With the Automated Alliance, this ROOTbot Academy, with our first ever pickup. Well, I guess that's not entirely true. We had that one with the Vagabot, but I can say is this one is actually going to be short. That one I thought might be short, and it wound up being a half hour. So this one is just for, I guess I rewatched the video. It's not necessarily that I taught the rule wrong. Well, it is. I taught it wrong. I just didn't give enough detail. And I also, in my mind and in my heart, I was thinking of it the wrong way. At least according to the Benjamin Schmaus, the creator of the BetterBot project, which is, as we talked about before, the bones upon which the Clockwork project is built upon. The Automated Alliance have a little bit of a snafu when it comes to Spread Sympathy. We talked about that in the Teach video. If you haven't seen that, it's up here in the corners. That's kind of important. If you're watching this first, I would recommend watching that first. And then come back for this one little thing. Again, the rule isn't going to be taught wrong. It's just going to be after you watch that video and you watch this, you go, oh, now I know more. Hooray. So in Spread Sympathy, remember on the board, this is in daylight in the middle, place a sympathy token in the ordered unsympathetic clearing with the fewest enemy warriors adjacent to any sympathetic clearing. So the way that is written, the ordering of the words, at least to me, matters. But importantly, adjacency to a sympathetic clearing, that is the actual most important thing. The rest of it is essentially a series of tiebreakers, and it's possible they didn't want to do tiebreakers, I'm just realizing, because they already have these other two things, which are usually where they would put tiebreakers. So maybe they wanted to include them in the narrative explanation, and it sort of just makes it a little bit fuzzy. So in the video, I talk about, I think it would be easier if the rule was to say to place a sympathy token in an adjacent or in an unsympathetic clearing adjacent to any sympathetic clearing. And then the tiebreakers would be, first and foremost, ordered clearing, second, with fewest enemy warriors. So you always have to be adjacent. Just like with the human alliance, you can't just pop up out of nowhere somewhere else in the woods, and then you go to ordered clearing, and then you go to most warriors. So what we're talking about today is the no such clearings rule underneath it. So what this is if you have no sympathy on the board, which is to say at the very beginning of the game, check off yawns in the video on your GivePaws Hobby bingo card. Thank you, morning recording. So if you have no sympathy on the board, like at the beginning of the game, or if you get completely tabled, this is the ruling that you're going to look to, because you can't play anything sympathetic or adjacent to sympathy because you don't have any sympathy. It also could be in a situation where you are in a corner clearing. Actually, is it? Probably not. This actually probably is impossible unless there are multiple clearing destroying functions. I was going to say if the scoundrel blew up a clearing, but at most that would be half of your areas you can go to. So unless there's a way in the future that 2 clearings can get blown up by scoundrels, and we're living in that nightmarish reality, then this would also apply if you were in that clearing that's now abandoned off in the corner, in which case you need to get better friends because they done you dirty. Okay, so now how it actually works. On the board, it says no such clearing. Instead, place a sympathy token in the clearing with the fewest enemy pieces. Seems simple enough. However, again, from Benjamin, I find out this actually is missing an important part because it should be an ordered clearing. So if you ever are in a situation, beginning of the game or any other time, when you need to use the no such clearing rule, you first and foremost take the ordered suit into account. You look only at those clearings, unless it's bird, in which case then it's everything, and then you just read it as is. But if you have a fox card, you just look at the fox clearings, and then you use the tiebreaker of clearing with the fewest enemy pieces. So it's not, again, like I said, it's not an enormous change. I didn't completely make up something on my own, but I definitely did not give that detail because I definitely did not know that detail. I suppose you could say, since it says ordered unsympathetic clearing up in the main rule for Spread Sympathy, then it says instead place a sympathy token in the clearing with the fewest enemy pieces. I guess maybe you could make the case that Leader Games is assuming that you're still under that like umbrella of, well, it's going to an ordered clearing because it will. But again, that's not always the case, because we're talking about adjacency to sympathy is the highest echelon of priority. Second is ordered clearing. Third is least amount of warriors. That's in the regular Spread Sympathy. So now when it says instead, to me, that just went etch-a-sketch everything. This is the new rule. There's one more thing to add. So it's an ordered clearing and then fewest enemy pieces. Like I said, this was hopefully a really short one, and hopefully it's helpful. And thanks for taking a pause with Give Pause Hobby. I'm Kyle, and I hope you've been having some good games of Root. Bye.